All right, welcome, hello. Some chaos just broke here. I figured I had to go live for this. I couldn't waste a second editing it, getting anything of that stuff out. Russell Wilson is a Denver Bronco. That just happened. It's people in the chat saying, "Is this a joke?" No, no joke. This is happening according to so first Tom Pelissero, first guy that I saw break the news. I'll read the tweet itself saying the Seahawks and Broncos have agreed in principle on a trade, sending 9-time Pro Bowl Russell Wilson to Denver for a massive haul. So we don't know the actual capital yet. All I see is multiple first-round picks plus additional picks and players. So we do not know what is actually happening at this point. I know Jerry Jeudy, right after Aaron Rodgers re-signed, put out like a frowny face emoji. Maybe he's happy now, or maybe he's not. Maybe he's part of the package. That's also a very legit possibility. So I'm going to stay live here, hopefully until we can actually figure out what is happening. Maybe we won't know it, but I'm going to stay live here for a minute and just see, talk about what's happening. If you guys have any questions in the chat, let me know. We can make this a discussion because now we get Mahomes, Herbert, and Wilson twice a year, and Derek Carr too. Like Derek Carr is now the worst quarterback in that division. How insane of a division is that? Mahomes versus Herbert twice a year, Mahomes versus Wilson. That's just absolutely insane. I can't believe that. This is crazy. So I'm just going to start reading some of the tweets that we see happening here coming in, what we're getting coming in. So I guess Adam Schefter tweeted out the trade gives Denver the quarterback it sought since Peyton Manning, and it gives Seattle a foundation on what to rebuild the quarterback. I got to be honest. I don't see what the haul could be that could make this worth it for Seattle. Like, how does Seattle come away from this saying, you know what, we did the right thing here. This was a good trade from us. Like, what's the scenario in 5 years where Seattle comes out on top? The only one I can think of is if Russell Wilson sucks now, which I don't think he does. That's the only way I can see Seattle winning this trade. It's very hard to win a trade when you get rid of a top 5 guy. I mean, that's just the reality of the situation. So I don't know. This is a wild thing. And also, okay, another breaking news here to report. This is less important, but the Chargers signed Mike Williams to a 3-year, $60 million deal. So that's important. I mean, that matters. Less important about the Russell Wilson stuff, but a lot of, AFC West teams making moves real quick. I see. Let's go Geno Smith. I mean, you can't have Geno Smith be the starter, right? You have, first off, I think he's a free agent as well. I don't know what you do for Seattle now. Seattle sucks now, right? They just have to rebuild. What else do you do? And maybe that's their logic. Maybe they're saying like, listen, let's just blow it up and rebuild, but I'd rather rebuild with a star quarterback. That's Seattle lost the trade if it's true. I agree, and I literally don't even know what they gave up. Like, again, what I'm trying to do is we need a Jackson bench press stream. Probably not doing the bench press stream. I think we're going to stick to football content. Like, I guess, let me know in the chat. What's a way, I guess, if you're someone who likes the trade, Seattle fans, how are you feeling? If you're someone who likes this trade, how do you feel about it? Because I'm quite frankly, my mind is, I'm confused. That's how I feel. I'm confused by this. I just can't figure out, does Seattle trade for Jordan Love now? I don't know what happened. Also, okay, another news to report. I guess I'm just breaking news here left and right. The Jaguars just placed the franchise tag on Cam Robinson. So second straight year, Robinson has been placed on a franchise tag. Him and Godwin get it for back-to-back. Let's see. DK Metcalf loses more than anyone. That's true. I mean, him and Lockett, like, that's got to be frustrating, especially Metcalf, though, because he's locked up. He's thinking, man, I had this great quarterback, and now what's happening? In Seattle they're 2 years removed from how much? 12 wins? Right? So it's not like they're that far away. I do think they needed some improvements, but to me, I felt like it was more so of, I think about the Green Bay Packers and the way that they handled the Aaron Rodgers situation. It was kind of a similar thing, right? Where they started sucking with Aaron Rodgers and they just got a new coach, which I can't believe that Pete Carroll has somehow outlasted Russell Wilson. How is that possible that they're choosing Pete Carroll over Russell Wilson here in this situation? I would have loved to see Russell Wilson in a better fit in an offense that's willing to have him throw the ball. And we'll see that now with Nathaniel Hackett. This is a huge win for the Denver Broncos. And it's kind of a classic Broncos move too, right? Of the Denver Broncos saying, you know what, we don't need to worry about this draft and stuff. Let's go out and sign somebody. That's what they like to do, or trade for somebody. And so, I mean, just a just a crazy thing. So I see some people saying, I'm late. What did Seattle get? We don't know yet. And I was hoping that it would come out while I'm live. So that way we can, if someone sees someone saying something, let me know. But I mean, as of right now, at least the main people that I trust, really the two guys I have notifications on for Schefter and Rappaport, they both, they haven't announced anything yet. So does this mean Pete is rebuilding a team at his age? Yeah, I mean, it does, right? Like, there's no way that they think they're going to be competitive now with this. Seattle is kind of nutty for this trade. So I guess let's try to play devil's advocate, right? Let's try to build a scenario. Let's see, because here we go. As a Hawks fan, they have a rough recent history with picks for the most part. It's frustrating because the team wasn't far from competing again. I agree with that, and I think that seems to be the consensus right here. So I guess let's try to put, ourselves in their shoes. The one way I could think that this could make some sense is maybe you just say, like, listen, maybe they like one of these quarterbacks that no one else likes. Maybe they feel like they can draft that guy. They won't have to spend up too much draft capital to do it. And then you can get a lot of a cheaper option, build through free agency, kind of fill these holes. But the quarterback position is so important. And you have to, every team's first question has to be, where's our quarterback? How is our quarterback doing? And for them to just kind of like let him go, I don't get it. Again, the amount that it would have to be worth, like if legitimately, if the Broncos trade 3 entire drafts for this, like, it's a good trade. That's legitimately how I feel about it. If they trade 3 entire drafts and Jerry Jeudy and some other guys, I'm like, that's a good trade for Denver. Like, getting that star quarterback, it's just so important. Like, analytics will say a top 5 quarterback is worth roughly 4 wins. So what are you going to give up that's going to cost you 4 wins? It's going to be really difficult to do it now. The Broncos are low-key loaded now. Man, the AFC is that's a dogfight, huh? Right? 4 Super Bowl contenders in the same division, first time ever. I'm not quite sure I would go the Raiders are Super Bowl contenders just yet. They're certainly playoff contenders, though. I mean, it wouldn't be crazy if 4 teams, this could be the first time 4 teams make the playoffs in the same division. I think that's it. Again, people coming in late. What's the trade? Still don't know yet. Still have not been announced what the trade is. So we're still just figuring that out. Why would the Seahawks move off an elite quarterback in his prime? It's a great question. It's a great question. I don't know. I don't really know why you would move off a great quarterback in their prime. I mean, unless Roger, I really think unless Wilson sat there and said, I am not playing for you unless you decide that, I'm not playing for you straight up unless you trade me, then you can make the argument to get rid of him. Other than that, keep him and then franchise tag him. I don't get it. I don't know. Let's see. We have, bro, how do you have the Chargers as Super Bowl contenders, not the Raiders? Chargers have a lot of cap space. That's why I have it. So they can get better. It's not the rosters today. It's the rosters next year is my logic there. So, yeah, I mean, man, this is a wild thing. This is a wild scenario here. Let's just, here's what I'm going to do. I was hoping that we would get the actual news of what was given up. Let's look at the Broncos roster now. Just see, what are we looking at right here? What is the Broncos roster? Who do they have currently? Because Russell Wilson behind a good offensive line, I think. I think they have a good offensive line. It's not elite, but it's good. And now you can be throwing to Jerry Jeudy potentially. And again, it's weird because I don't know who's gone yet. So that's why things could be different. But like a Cortland Sutton, Jerry Jeudy, Tim Patrick, even like KJ Hamler, I still think has potential. Like those guys, that's a plethora of receivers. So have a legit third option, which they kind of struggled to get in Seattle a little bit. And then we also have, Noah Fant, who's been good for them. And also the Albert, I forget his last name, how to say his last name, Albert O, we'll call him. That's a, something that I also think is interesting. Okay, so here we go. Some information. We got something breaking. Drew Lock is a part of the trade. So, okay, maybe Seattle likes Drew Lock. I don't know. I would hope you get more than just Drew Lock. I don't think that it's going to be 1-for-1 here. Drew Lock going, yes. It was said in the chat. I'm trying to put that up. Drew Lock going to Seattle in the trade. So, trying to see. I'm not going to trust anyone in the chat until I see it from a reliable source. I'm not going to post that. So I see some people saying some other stuff. Not going to get there yet. Do you think Drew Lock is someone they wanted, or was that a throw-in? It has to just be a throw-in, right? I mean, there's no way, like, if they wanted Drew Lock, I mean, okay, listen, you need a quarterback, right? So taking a flyer on Drew Lock now in a vacuum, that makes some sense. But like, I don't know, man. I don't get this trade at all. Also, 500 people here live in the chat. Thank you to everyone who is watching live. I gotta just hang on a while now, right? Because people are here. So appreciate everyone. Make sure you hit that subscribe button while you're here. Why not? Also, anyone have any questions about my opinion? Maybe the Hawks get Surtain. At least that's actually a great point. That would be a great fit. That's a great point because I think that for Surtain, like he fits that Seattle cover 3 so well that they're still trying to play in 2022. Like I would be total like again. That's not making the trade good for Seattle, but that is a great fit. That would be a great piece. I'm gonna have to blow my nose for a second, so sorry about that. Real quick, I'm gonna mute my microphone so you don't have to listen. All right, we're back here. Very interesting questions. Why your hair is not long anymore? Because I cut it. That's what did this Seahawks finally get a first rounder? I would hope so. I mean, if they don't get a first rounder, this is the worst trade of all time. I think. Man, that's crazy. I mean, well, here's what's interesting too. So I see someone posting into the chat saying like, I'm a Steelers fan. Who do you think we get at quarterback? That's an interesting question because I think it kind of says more about like, well, so now we know the Seahawks were willing to get rid of Russell Wilson because we talked about like maybe Tampa Bay could get Russell Wilson, and then the thing about that was never like, is Tampa Bay going to be able to like pay enough to get Russell Wilson? It always kind of seemed more of like is Russell Wilson even going to be available? Is there a price on him? Now that we know that there is a price on him, this kind of makes teams like the Steelers, like the Buccaneers, maybe feel a little bit bad about the fact that they didn't go out and get a Russell Wilson. Now, granted, we don't know what was given up, right? But it still seems like that, like maybe legitimately, like some of these teams just didn't have the actual draft capital to pull it off, which is possible. But it's still interesting. Opinions on the Niners now that Russ is gone. That's a good point too. I didn't think about that. So the rest of Seattle's division. Now you have the Cardinals, who are listen, they were good last year. The Rams and the Niners all here who now finally get kind of a punching bag here in that division. Man, Seattle's going to suck next year. That's going to be something that I think is very fascinating. Also, Von Miller going back to Denver now. Yeah, that's very possible, right? That logically would make sense. I could see Von Miller heading back there. Why not? I mean, you're now going to be contending for a championship, and he knows the area. He played there for a while. So we're still waiting on what actually is part of the trade. All we know as of right now is that Drew Lock is part of it. So that's all we have. I'm assuming it's not 1-for-1. As I said, I think that there's probably going to be something else there. So that's fascinating. It's crazy too. So I also saw something saying this has nothing to do with the Aaron Rodgers news. So Aaron Rodgers did just recently say he's going to stay in Green Bay, and then minutes after, Russell Wilson goes to the Broncos. But apparently that's just a coincidence. So that's the report at least. So that's fascinating. I'm still looking on Twitter to see when there's updates. I will keep you guys updated. I'm gonna take a drink of water real quick. So how are you feeling, everyone in the chat? What's the reaction? I want to know from fan bases around the league. If you're a Broncos fan, how you're feeling. If you're a Seattle fan, how you're feeling. If you're a hater of one of those two teams in the division, perhaps, what's the thought here? I guess another thing, hey, Green Bay's got to feel pretty good, right? This is a great day for the Packers. Russell Wilson out of the conference now, and Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams are staying. Packers fans got to be great. As a Niners fan, I love it. I bet you do. Russ was supposed to go to the Vikings. Yeah, as a lot of fans probably sad that he's not going to your favorite team, myself included. Wished those Tampa Bay Photoshop jerseys. Those were great. I love it. Just a fan of football. Yeah, that's true. For chaos fans, this is best case scenario, right? For ones that are like, hey, just wanting something dramatic to happen. That's fun. So that's pretty cool. And so that's kind of where I'm at, where it's like, hey, it's cool that this stuff happens. I want to be able to see these star players get traded. That makes the offseason way more fun. The NBA offseason is the most fun offseason there is because of all these free agent signings and all that stuff. So I'm assuming as of right now, it's just a mad scramble to figure out what the details are with the everyone else, because it's weird how usually the details come out by now. I mean, I'm looking at one of the thing was actually when it happened, I mean, I've been live for 16 and a half minutes now, so it's been past then. The news broke about 19 minutes ago. So I would expect there to be some news within the next few minutes of when we will actually know, at least, if not all the details, at least like what the big things are. We still do know. Okay, so here's something we do know. I said at the beginning, but I'll say it again now. It was for multiple first round picks plus additional picks and players. That's what we know. We don't know what the additional picks are, and we don't know what the additional players are. We also don't know how many first round picks. We just know it's more than one. So that's what we know as of right now. And one of the players is Drew Lock. Raiders fan here. Appreciate the super chat very much. It's always nice. I'm trying to read through all the chats. It's going a little bit fast for me, so sorry if I'm not getting anything here. But yeah, that's just a crazy thing. What comment saying? Tell the people to drop a like. You only have 20. Yeah, hey, do me a favor and hit the like button. We have 750 people here in the chat, so very cool. Okay, here's a good one. How would you rank the NFC and AFC West? All right, First reactions, let's do the AFC West because that's the more interesting one. So AFC West, obviously, the four teams are the Raiders, the Chargers, the Chiefs, and the Broncos. I think, oh man, that's tough. I really do. I feel like the Raiders are 4 because I feel like, I guess the power ranking, the way I'm viewing it, is who's most likely to win the Super Bowl next year. So we have several different options here, several different ways you could make that happen. And obviously, the Chargers probably had the most like leeway in what they're going to do. I think the Chiefs and Broncos will probably make smaller moves, whereas it seems like the Chargers are going to make the bigger moves. So I guess I'll say my gut says I think I still put Chiefs 1, Broncos 2, Chargers 3, and then Raiders 4. But those top 3, you can argue any direction. I think that they're all very good. So yeah, I mean, this is a big one. For all this stuff. We have a Lions fan here. Yeah, hey, I guess Lions started the trend, right? Appreciate the super chat. And that once Stafford goes, maybe teams are trying to make that happen. That's that's actually a really interesting point now that I think about it, because we talked about how are we going to see kind of the rest of the league catch up to what we saw the Rams do? What's the difference we're going to see? And I think that this is probably that first domino to fall, right? A team being willing to say, you know what, we're going to go out and try to get the star quarterback. It's a quarterback league. That's what we're going to go after. So, so again, people saying, did they actually trade Surtain? I haven't seen anything other than, again, what the only thing I know is it's multiple first round picks and it's Drew Lock. That's what we know so far. But there is more stuff in the deal that just hasn't been created just yet. So. Yeah, I think it's interesting. And let's say if Surtain is in a package, I'm going to cry. That's insane to me. You're a Broncos fan. Shouldn't you be thrilled with whatever it is? Getting Russell Wilson, it's worth it. It's going to be that's the trade that you want. Again, what has to be in this trade for the Seahawks to see like, you know what? I feel good about that. I just don't know. What are your thoughts on Lamar's contract negotiations? I feel the media is hyping it up to more than it is. Well, that's, again, not entirely related, but I don't know. I think that you should pay Lamar. Again, it's kind of somewhat related in the fact that it's a star quarterback who's on the market. You got to keep the star quarterback. Like, that's listen, you can win a Super Bowl without a star quarterback. I mean, I wouldn't call Stafford necessarily a star. He's very good, but not a superstar by any means. And they won a Super Bowl just that past year. But that team was loaded, and it had basically no margin for error. And that's kind of how I feel about a team like the Seahawks now, where it's like, if you don't have the star quarterback, you're going to have to be loaded everywhere else. And they are not. So that's what's interesting. So the NFL team building is following the trend of NBA super teams, kind of, right? But there's one difference, which is they're kind of happening with trades, whereas super teams, it's kind of like a one, it's like teams being free agents and going together. Okay, more information. One more information. Shelby Harris. Shelby Harris is now a Seattle Seahawk. So Shelby Harris, defensive tackle for the Broncos, solid player. He's good. He's, again, not someone that you're going to say, okay, I guess, so I'm looking at his PFF chart now, and here's where he's at, where he was the 51st ranked defensive tackle last year, but he was 8th ranked in 2020. He was also 9th ranked in 2018. So he's had some very good years with Denver, although last year maybe took a bit of a decline, that's what they're saying in 564 snaps. He's a good player. It also totally checks out to me that Pete Carroll would trade a star quarterback for a guy who can help stop the run better. That totally works out. We have a let's try to not spam in the chat. I'll put you in timeout and eventually block you if you cannot. Commenting is fine, but don't comment the same thing over and over again. That's what we have to do here. Yeah. So very interesting. I mean, this is a big. So we have a super chat here. Top 4, top 10 quarterbacks. 1 Chiefs, Raiders 2, Broncos 3, and Chargers 4. We'll see. Again, it depends on what the Raiders do this offseason for sure. Let's do the other side now. So NFC West, how are we feeling there? I feel like here's one interesting implication is with the Rams and Packers kind of being clear front runners, one of the things hanging in the Rams' way is you have a tough division. You have to play the 49ers twice. You have to play the Cardinals twice. And typically you have to play Russell Wilson twice. Now that that's not the case and they're going to be rebuilding, that could allow them to potentially try to get that 1 seed ahead of the Packers, who I think we all assume are the clear front runners as of right now. It's very interesting. I mean, yeah, I don't know what else. Again, what do you do here? I see, someone tweeted out. This is interesting. So someone brought up, the Broncos have the number 9 overall pick. You have to assume that's included here, I would think, which maybe that's part of it. Is Seattle believes as though that number 9 pick, they can get a quarterback, maybe like Malik Willis, and don't think he's going to go top 8. Maybe it's that simple. And they say, hey, let's make this move. That's an option, I think. So I don't know. This is a weird thing. So I don't know exactly what is happening, and we still don't know the rest of the information. I want to stay live until we get the whole deal. That's my goal right here. So do you think the Broncos are contenders? I do. Let's go through. Let me look at the list and see, where do I have them now? Where do you have them in the power rankings? I want to see. So in the AFC, I said earlier, I think that they're still behind the Chiefs. I think it's hard to put them ahead of the Chiefs, just what the Chiefs have been able to do. And we've seen it, right? We don't know how Wilson is going to fit with all these guys. We assume it should be great, but we don't know. So there is a bit of a question mark. So I think the Chiefs are ahead. I would still put the Bills ahead. I think that the Bills were really good last year. Their defense was awesome. Josh Allen was great. They just got 13 seconds by Mahomes. So then the other questions are the Titans ahead? The Bengals are a question mark. And I think you can put the Patriots as a question mark. They're in that tier for me, though. And I don't know. I think I have to put them ahead of the Patriots. I think I have to put them again. I think the only team I think I have to put them again ahead of the Patriots, right? Because they have the star quarterback. And Mac Jones was a good rookie, but there still was that question mark there. So, I mean, you have a guy who's legit been, like, you can make the argument Russell Wilson should have won MVPs in specific years. He's that quality. So, I don't know. So we see someone in the chat saying you could trade the number 9 to get more picks and take Desmond Ridder at 41 for Seattle. That's an option, or like just take someone who you like later. I see that. I don't think that's crazy by any means here. I got to blow my nose again. Sorry. All right, we're back. 700 people in the chat just to watch me blow my nose. That's what's happening. Yeah, I don't know. What else do we have here? I mean, this is Denver has quality receivers. They do. And what they have as well is like a plethora of receivers. I guess here's an interesting thing too, is like, so how well are these receivers going to do in terms of the Russell Wilson scramble out, try to make something happen variety kind of thing? I think Cortland Sutton could be great. This could be great for Sutton because he is someone who can go up and get a pass. So that's interesting. And I'm also very fascinated to see Jerry Jeudy, if he has a little bit more time now, how he's going to do with that. So that's another interesting aspect in all of this as well. So, I mean, yeah, it's a what should the Bucs do for their quarterback situation? I think that they should trade for Russell Wilson. That's what I think. That's what I would do, is I would trade for Russell Wilson. Yeah. So, okay, we still don't have an exact detail. So I guess I'll stay here, right? What else am I doing here? Still nothing. We have what we already knew. Shelby Harris is going to this again. I think it's interesting. So some people saying that the Bucs should take Tyler Huntley, and that's interesting. I don't hate that idea. Again, I'm going to say this again just because it's so important. Like, I don't know how you can look at this and say Seattle wins this trade. Like, the way that they're going to have to hit on their picks to make this trade worth it, the only way you can trade a Russell Wilson and win the trade is if you end up getting a better quarterback. And maybe that's because Russell Wilson will suck next year. Maybe you think that I thought it was like solid last year. He wasn't as good as he typically is, but he also had some injuries. So I think that's another factor in all of that. But yeah, for Russell Wilson, I forget that, but like that's I think Russell Wilson's so good. That's where I was trying to say. Sorry, I lost my train of thought for a second. It's hard to do solo shows. I've been doing this for almost half an hour now. I'm used to being able to throw something over to Kyle, take a minute, and then throw it back. Yeah. So someone said, I heard Drew Lock is a part of the trade. Yes, Drew Lock and Shelby Harris are part of the trade. We also know multiple first-round picks. We don't know if there's more players. All we knew is that there was multiple players and additional picks, plural. So multiple other picks other than first rounders. So maybe like 2 first, 2 second, could be 3 first, 3 second, and 3 third. Like we don't know. So that's a pretty big difference as well. Although again, if they traded 3 first, 3 second, and 3 thirds, Shelby Harris and Drew Lock and Jerry Jeudy and got Russell Wilson, I think that's a good trade. I really do. So yeah, that's kind of how I feel about it. And again, unless you just don't like, I would say I don't see how you think Denver won the trade. Seattle finessed them. Sure. I'm not sure how you can. Again, if you are someone who legitimately believes that Seattle made the right move by trading away Russell Wilson, let me know. Give me the logic. Try to make the best argument, because I'm struggling to even come up with like a great argument for why for how that could be argued. I mean, I guess it legitimately is like, if you just don't believe in paying a quarterback that much. But I think in today's NFL, like you have to. I mean, I just think in today's NFL, star quarterbacks that's how you win football games, is with star quarterbacks, or they just add so much value. It's not them alone, obviously, but it adds so much value. So that's where thing. So let's see. Looks like someone in the chat says Jay Glazer has it. I want to fact check that though before posting it on the live stream. So let me just check that out real quick. Jay Glazer, typically very okay. All right, so here we go. Jay Glazer. The trade is for 3 players, one being Drew Lock, and 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, and a 5th for Russell Wilson, and a 4th round pick back. I always love those weird things like, okay, but we want a 4th round pick back. That's not a lot. That's not as much as I was expecting it to be. I feel like who's that 3rd player though? Because it's Shelby Harris, Drew Lock, and who? And if that's Jerry Jeudy or Surtain, then I guess I kind of get it. But 2 first, 2 second, and a 5th, like, I mean, I guess one of them's the number 9 overall pick as well. So I'm assuming, so that's a good draft pick, but this is not a ton of capital here for Russell Wilson. I think that's kind of how I feel. I mean, I don't know about that one whatsoever. I mean, right? Because I was thinking it had to be at least like 3 first round picks, only 2 first round picks and 2 second rounders. Let's just, here's a fun exercise. Let's look at the Seattle, let's look at who the Broncos. I guess I don't know. Let's just look at like the draft from last year, and I'm trying to see like this is a good example of showing like what they really gave up in actual value, because we kind of talk about how draft picks tend to be a little bit overrated. The value of draft picks is the fact that you can get cheap players, but like the number 9 overall pick last year was Patrick Surtain, so that's you can get a solid player there with a top 10 pick. There's no denying that. But, we assume the following first rounder will be a very high draft pick, right? Because you have a good player in Russell Wilson, who should make your team, you should be picking at least in the 20s there, where you can get like solid players. Like if starting at 21, Kwity Paye, Caleb Farley, Christian Darrisaw, Najee Harris, Travis Etienne, Greg Newsome. Those are solid players. So you can get, that basically in the first round. And in the second round, kind of a similar idea. You can potentially get some depth player, potentially some starters. The Broncos with the 9. Let's see, where did they pick in the? But there's things you can do. I guess is basically what I'm saying. I like this comment. Broncos traded for Russ. No, Seahawks traded for Drew Lock. That's it. I think that the Seahawks could pick up the phone and said, "What can we do to get Drew Lock?" And they said Russell Wilson. They said, "Say no more. We'll make it work. We'll figure it out." Watson to Seattle. Maybe they trade the picks for him. Well, that's interesting. I don't know exactly why you would do it this way, but I don't know why the Texans wouldn't just take Watson, but maybe they want to do that. I really don't think it's that complex. I think the Seahawks basically just said, we want to have a guy in Russell Wilson who is going to be someone who can, or what am I saying? The Seahawks said we don't want to have a guy in Russell Wilson who's going to take all this cap hit. We'd rather take the draft capital and just rebuild because we feel like we have too many holes in the roster. But again, you can fill those holes a lot easier than you can find a star quarterback. It's a lot easier to find, a better third receiver than it is to find a star quarterback. That's kind of how I feel about it. So again, we're getting close to it. We still don't know the exact deal. There still is one other option. There's going to be one final domino to fall because what we know is the draft capital now. We know it's 2 first, 2 second, and a 5th. And then the Seahawks gave a 4th back. And what we also know is that Shelby Harris and Drew Lock are the other 2. We don't know or maybe some people are saying maybe we do know the 3rd. I don't see that. Where are you seeing it posted? Because I keep seeing people saying Fant. I don't see where are you getting that information from? Because I don't see that anywhere. So let me know what your source is, and I can fact check that. But as of right now, the sources I'm seeing aren't saying that necessarily. So it's possible. But Jay Glazer. So I'm looking at as of right now the most recent tweet from Jay Glazer right here. I'll even refresh my page. Said. The trade is for 3 players, 1 being Drew Lock and 2 first rounders. It does not mention Noah Fant anywhere. So, excuse me. Okay. Oh, here we go. So my voice is going out. Oh no. 1 second. All right, I think we're back. Sorry about that. My voice went out at the worst time. I guess I've been talking for too long. I gotta end this before too long. But yep, you're right. You guys are ahead of me. That's weird because I was refreshing. Maybe my desktop's a little slow or something. But yeah, Noah Fant is the trade. So there we go. That's the entire trade. So just to reiterate, the Broncos get Russell Wilson and a 4th rounder. The Seahawks get 2 first rounders, 2 second rounders, a 5th rounder. Drew Lock, Shelby Harris, and Noah Fant. Fant's a good player. You're losing that, but quite frankly, I thought for sure Surtain or Judy would be that final player. Fant's good, but that's it. That's just what I keep thinking about. That's all you got for Russell Wilson is 2 first, 2 second. This is not that far off from the Matthew Stafford trade. It's pretty close, actually. You got similar value and I just feel like Russell Wilson has shown more than Stafford has over the course of his career. Now, again, the Rams won a Super Bowl with Stafford, so you're going to feel like Stafford is better now. But at the time, Stafford wasn't considered to be this guy who will definitely win you a Super Bowl. The value that we felt like Stafford was at last year is just not the value that we feel like that Wilson is at this year, I think. So, again, the Seahawks got some value. This is given up. As a Tampa Bay fan, I'm thinking we couldn't have matched that. I feel like we could have. And, if you're a Steelers fan, you got to be thinking we couldn't give you that for Russell Wilson. So this is a great trade for the Broncos. The Broncos are championship contenders. This seems like it's definitely going to be a good move for the Broncos. It's hard to really argue the contrary. Also, Rappaport just tweeted out, which is or he tweeted out a video, but it's kind of funny to think about the last time when the Broncos were, I guess not when the Broncos were last in the Super Bowl, but when the Seahawks won their last Super Bowl with Russell Wilson, they beat the Broncos. So now Russell Wilson gets to follow in Manning's footsteps and I guess make sure that you don't have your center snap it over your head. So, yep, it is official now. Russell Wilson, we have it's a new NFL. It's a new NFL by for sure. This is a very fascinating situation. Yeah, I don't know. It's just weird. I see someone in the chat saying it's more than, that's the wrong one, but Chief shaking, that's also probably true. Jesus Christ. Okay, my voice is going out. I need water or something. I gotta end this stream. But yeah, thanks to everyone for watching live. Over 800 people as my voice is gone. I have no water here, so I gotta go get some. Probably a good time to just end the stream altogether. But yeah, again, you think KC is shaking, delusional. I'm mostly joking. I think that they don't love the development happen. No, that's probably fair to say. But yeah, I think I'll tap out now. I think I covered this as good as possible. Interesting stuff. So just so you guys know, while you're here, podcast tomorrow at 5 Eastern is when we do the podcast. We're going to be talking about everything that just happened this past week, along with we're going to do a draft for the top free agents that are available. So should be some good stuff. Make sure you stay tuned for that. I also got some good stuff coming out tonight. Plan on uploading a video that's kind of explaining everything that happened in this chaotic days. So be on the lookout for that. That should be dropping at 5:15. So look out for that. And yeah, all the chaos killing Jackson. Yeah, Jackson drying out like a fish out of water. Yes, that's exactly true. Yeah, good stuff. Again, 666 people in the chat. Perfect time to end or into watching live. Thanks to everyone. Do appreciate that. And I'll see you if you like to be in the chat live. I'll see you tomorrow. Until then, bye.